This is a public service announcement. So real quick, at level 39, I'm gonna get the Black Santa suit. Just reached 35. They gave me the Memphis Grizzlies top for the Master. That's what I'm gonna call this outfit, the Master. But I wanted all Brooklyn, man, since that's mainly the team I'm supporting. You know, Kyrie Irving is my favorite player. Even though I might not agree with some of the things he does off the court. Like, when I watch the man play, he's just a phenomenal player, so he became my all-time favorite. With that being said, man, like, this is tough. I promise you guys this magic carpet could have been like the level 40 reward. The thing is fast, and it can maneuver through some avenues. Like, it's amazing. I mean, obviously, when I saw the Legend Prize was a lowrider, I was hoping it would have like some rocket boosters in the back or something. I mean, hydraulics is cool, but like, you still want something that's gonna zoom all around the city. You know, that's what's fun for people to watch. Just something that can go real fast with a lot of control. And you can just like kind of like cruise around. And then they could have had different car styles. There's a lot of stuff they could have did. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna knock the Legend reward. I think getting a 2K logo for the first Legend, that was like a major W. Beyond all the other stuff he got. Just getting the logo can get him more recognition, which eventually can help him make more money. But this is a public service announcement video. I, Lethal Mindset, plan on creating the association. Now, I know what people think, like, Lethal, what does that mean, the association? Yes, it's gonna be a Pro-Am league. I do plan on making a Pro-Am league, and that's what it's going to start out as. But I'm in talks with a good friend of mine, Gamer Next Door. He's had great communities. Me and him have built communities together over the years, and the only thing me and him never did correctly was figure out how to properly charge people for the services we provided. We have had great leagues, Madden 2K, he's hosted a UFC league, has a Call of Duty thing, Fortnite, whatever. Like, we've been able to find good people throughout our time frame of playing video games, and this is something we've been talking about since we was in the military, just creating a community and environment where people can get together and compete and kind of get a chance to make some money doing it. That's what I always have been about. I think everybody is pretty much trying that. Like, if you're not on YouTube creating content for the love of creating content, then you're probably doing it for a chance to make some money. And to be honest with you, it's at a point where it's pretty hard to compete against, you know, all the other people that are the top at it. Every year in 2K, we seem to get a new person that's the first person in Legend, you know, and those people typically ride their fame out for the rest of their careers. And it's great for them, but to the people that don't want to spend hours grinding for Legend, how do they make it? Well, you can be entertaining. You can be, you know, you can create good content, but like at the end of the day, let's be honest, like a lot of us don't know the YouTube algorithm. We don't know what's actually getting views. And to be honest with you, we don't really even know if the views are real. Like, you look at some of these people's views and stuff, and they're consistently getting a certain amount. But for some reason, like their subscribers versus their views don't really add up or match up. You know, like, for example, a top YouTuber I know, TD Barrett, he has millions of subscribers. His videos do not get millions of views, right? But he still generates a pretty large amount of revenue just from like maybe 100K, 200K viewers per video. That seems about normal. So if you got somebody with like 50,000 subscribers and they're constantly getting like 1 million plus views, but their subscriber amount isn't growing, something's wrong with that. Alright, so like at the end of the day, like trying to make money, it might not be best for everybody to sit there and try to do it that way. there's a lot of ways to make money via video games. You can compete. Like, think about it. If you're a guy that competed in the 2K League, then you made a lot of money. You didn't necessarily have a lot of followers or subscribers starting out. You just played really good at the game, got an opportunity, and made the most of it. All right? Not everybody's interested in the 2K League. So they got my team. You get a chance to compete for $250,000 every year. All right, if you can ball out and win that, then that's a nice little bit of money to start you off on whatever it is you're trying to do. But not everybody even wants to play my team. So what I'm pretty much trying to come up with is, if nothing else, a way for people with similar interests to compete against each other in a very close environment. Like, it might be a little trash talk here and there, but for the most part, it should be a positive environment that's going to allow people to be interested in that particular game or group. All right, this is a community we're trying to build. So, with that being said, I'm going to create the association. This is going to take time for me to do. I have to set up everything correctly. The pricing on it is not going to be cheap. It's not. And the reason why is because how can we generate money if we don't correctly name our price? I have to correctly put out a decent price out there, because I've done the free leagues. I even did leagues when I gave my own money. And although I've had some success doing it, eventually I'm not making enough money from it to sustain, to keep the headache of trying to be a commissioner and trying to make sure everybody follow the rules, getting new people in there. Like, it's a grind to do these things. Same thing with like, if you make a league, right, and let's say you do it for free. No, you might not have the headache of having to deal with a money portion aspect of it, but you still got to deal with grown men and their emotions. Everybody wanting the league to be the way they want it to be. You're going to have the lower teams ducking games. You're going to have the higher teams always winning. And at the end of the day, it creates a toxic environment, because at some point when you're not gaining anything from doing it, you're just going to stop doing it. Like, if you go exercise and you don't feel like you're getting nothing out of exercising, why would you continue to exercise? At least if you eat, you can get some enjoyment out of comfort food. But if you go work at something and put your effort in and you don't feel like you're getting nothing back, you're not going to continually put the effort in. So that's why I said we have to correctly figure out a price point that's going to be comfortable. It's not going to be cheap, but at the same time, it's going to be manageable. Like, by person, it's going to be manageable. So that's what we're working on. The way it's going to be constructed on my end, as far as the Pro-Am League goes, is there's going to be 30 teams. Just like the NBA, it's going to be 30 teams. There's going to be a conference on that side, a conference on this side. The people within your conference, you'll play them twice. It's not a best of 3 series, you just play them twice. The people in the opposite conference, you will play once. All right. I believe that's a grand total of about close to 40 games in a season, or something a little bit less than that. I mean, one side is 28, you add 15 to 28. Let me see. 1 second, I got the calculator right here. I like doing stuff like this on the spot, so y'all don't think I'm trying to get over on anybody. But 28 plus 15 is 43. So 43 games. Right, that is a lot of games within the season, and you have time to complete it. You have about a month and a half, and it will be a schedule. There will be no room for teams to duck teams or anything like that. And I know y'all think 43 games sound like a lot, but let me break it down. So you will have a game every day of the week, right? Every day of the week you will have a game, Monday through Friday. Games on the weekends, you don't necessarily have a game, but if you want to move forward in the schedule, you can. So the way it's going to work is the schedule is going to be put out from day one. right? Once the schedule is out, whatever team is on the schedule for that day, you are required to get a game in that day. All right. Now, we're going to be flexible. If y'all don't feel like y'all can get a game in that day and both teams agree that they can't get a game in that day, I can push it towards the weekend or push it back a day. All right, so you can play it on Tuesday. But at that point, you will have 2 games to play Tuesday night. Now, most people, from my experience, from me playing, you play about anywhere from 2 to about 7 Pro-Am games in a night. Right, so having 5 games to play in a week is not a lot, especially since you get a chance to move ahead. So if you want to, if on Monday you feel like your team can get all 5 games out the way, then you get all 5 games out the way. And we'll put the scores in. The scores will be calibrated over the weekend, and everything will be updated every single weekend. All right, I will push to try to get it updated as quick as possible, but more than likely, with a league of that size and that magnitude, it'll be updated every single weekend. All right, so you get 43 games, including playoffs. All right, that's a good number of games for a season, so it's going to be worth the price of admission right there. From there, we will have 3 tiers. All right, so the top 16 teams will get a chance to compete in the playoffs for the top prize, which would be consist of the most amount of money. And then tier 2 would be like the next, like 8 teams after that, and then like the bottom teams would be the last tier. And from there, like every tier will have a chance to make some type of money. That way, even if you're the worst team possible, you will still have a chance to make some money by the end of the year. I think it's very important that everybody actually gets a chance to do something. I plan on giving something for the MVP and various other awards. All right, we'll have an all-star team. Voting will be conducted in the way it's intended to be. So regular season voting will go at the end of the regular season before the playoffs starts. I don't even want to start the playoffs until we get like regular season awards out the way. Obviously, when the playoffs get there, you're playing for the money, so that's going to be the prize that you're going after. But nonetheless, I plan on having different things throughout the season, like update the list of who's the top players, team scheme, coaches, different things about players. Like, I actually want it to be an association. I don't want to just have another league where we play for money and nobody really cares about it at the end of the day. I don't necessarily want to say force, but I really want people who understand what the mission is at the end of the day, because the more buzz you can generate about this thing, the more popular it's going to become, the better it's going to get. So nobody's worried. I will not have any former or active 2K League players available to play in this. I don't want guys that want to take it so seriously that they can ruin it for everybody else. And even I won't care if you compete in WR or MPBA, but if you're a 2K League player, focus on the 2K League. That's a way bigger thing for your 2K career than what this association can provide. Right? Because, yeah, y'all can say we don't have all the best players, but that's fine. The environment we're trying to create is supposed to have a certain level of pride. Alright, so even if we're not considered the best players in the world, that's fine. We'll be the best players in this association. And that's good enough. There will be enough recognition going around throughout the league to where, everybody will feel good about where they rank and who they play for and how the association is going. Once the 2K side of things get going, I do plan to branch over into Madden and other various games. So it's going to be called the association, but it's more than just 2K at the end of the day. 2K is just going to be the starting block for me. Gamer Next Door, he's somebody that's going to be working on the other various games because he's already built communities. And he's been a commissioner of a lot of things. And one thing me and him have always done well is just play devil's advocate, right? Which means one of us will have a suggestion, the other person would just break out the worst case scenario. And we can discuss it like men, like we're older now, like when we were younger and trying to do this, like I said, we had many successes, different things, especially with a lot of Madden leagues. We had a lot of success with it. A lot of the rules that he's ran in this league came from me or him. So like, we built positive things. We just never correctly named our price. And now that's the point we're at. We want to correctly put it out there how much it's going to cost. That way, when people come in, they already know what they're coming into. The more successful leagues and things I've seen have higher prices. There's a reason for that, though. If you think about it, if you go play in the WR right now, what it costs per team? 150? Which, if you break it down, if you got 10 people on the roster, that's just $15 per person. It's not breaking the bank. But when you hear the overwhelming number of 150, it does sound like a lot, even though it's not. But if guys have to take time to deal with the questions that's asked and people trying to manipulate the system, on top of having an active stat tracker, having an active website, on top of trying to make sure guys are playing games, like, it's a lot to deal with. They should be paid for their time of doing so. Now, I don't know how much they should be getting paid necessarily per month or per season or anything, but it should be good enough just to keep doing it season after season after season. And this is something that's hard to build because, I mean, you're going to have some people that understand the mission and they're going to put in the money for it, and then you're going to have some other people that's just like, it's too much money for me. I'd rather go try to do this free thing where they're not going to have fun and they're just going to bullshit their way through it anyway. And that's what having a correct price does. It just weeds out the non-contenders and the people that are not trying to, actively engage in a positive thing. Last thing I'm going to leave y'all with is, in real life, I play basketball. I play basketball at Lifetime, right? It's this gym in Cary, North Carolina. I pay $100+ a month to go there. There's also a gym in Gardner, North Carolina, that's free. It's free to me, right? I can go there. I can play as much as I want. At the times given, it's full court. And like I said, it's free. It's a decent facility and everything, but I'd much rather go to the gym I pay $100 a month at. Why? It's not the flex or anything like that. It's just simply because the group that I play with at Lifetime is hands down way more mature than the group that I play with in Garner. Hands down. It's not even close. Like, the atmosphere that's created at Lifetime is one that I much rather spend the money there. Like, I literally could be saving $100 a month and just go to this other gym. But I'd rather play the 100 because the environment is created in such a way that the people that you're playing with all have similar interests, and we have a good time whenever we're playing ball. That's the environment I'm trying to create with the association, where you much rather play in the association with the guys that you can find, the friends that you can bring along, and compete and have fun, as opposed to try to play in some of these other leagues where you barely play, you guys are going to argue, and you're going to quit, and you're not even going to feel like you get your money's worth. With that being said, once this thing jumps off, captains, leaders, people that's like the top dog of their group, I don't care what game it is. I suggest to you, like I'm gonna suggest to anybody else, have every individual player put in the money that they need to put in. So if it costs everybody $15 to play, make sure everybody on your team pays the $15. Do not pay people's way. If you do that, it's not gonna go well. The worst thing I think I ever did was I played in a Pro-Am league where I put up all the money. What happened was, guys, you know, we have times where it's always like one guy that shows up late or don't make it. You have another guy that has another excuse for whatever reason. It's just bad. It's just really bad. Like, and then at the end of the day, I'm the only person that lost something at the end of the thing. I lost $50. Now this time around, when I played in this league with Coach Clay's community, I made everybody pay. Granted, I did give them their money back for the majority by the end of the season, but having everybody played, I never had to worry if we had enough people to play. If we didn't have enough people to play, I was just able to say, hey, we're not going to be able to make it. Somebody else, you know, you guys can get the forfeit or whatever. But for the most part, we always had people to play because they put in their money, so they put in the time to actually play. So that's what I'm going to leave everybody with. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, you want to compete in the high-level Pro-Am league where it's going to be more about the association itself than actually winning games, then this is going to be the thing for you. I encourage good teams to come out and compete, man. Like I said, if you got somebody on your team that was in the 2K league before, I'm sorry. Don't really want that person. It's not personal. It's just you got people that's competing at different levels all the time. All right? There's going to be good players in the league regardless of whether those players are in here or not. But I've heard the way those guys talk in streams and talk to their teams and things of that manner. That type of atmosphere I do not want in the association. I don't. Now, I ain't gonna be the one to be in your Discord and trying to tell y'all how to run your teams or nothing. It's just the less of that toxicity we can deal with, the better. And I'm sorry, competing in any game for money is a toxic state. All right, there's no, like, your competitors at the end of the day, there's no being friends when the game is going on. You know, you want to beat them as bad as they want to beat you. So, yeah, man, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. So this particular game, I might as well talk about it since we're close to the end. This particular game we played, this came off a very challenging stretch for me. Because, like, the day before, it's like, we won a lot of games that we played, but we lost some games that we shouldn't have lost. We was playing rec. Team didn't take it seriously, we lost. All right, and then for me, all the time, if I ever lose 2 games in a row, especially if it's like to different opponents, at that point, I don't even really want to play anymore because it's like, a lot of times it's not on me. It's like, it's not me playing bad. And I'm finally at a point where I'm comfortable to tell my teammates, hey, even though I always take the blame for losing, hey, sometimes it was on y'all. I never blame my team for missing shots. I blame them for not getting back on defense after they miss a shot. I don't blame them for missing a pass, although it is frustrating. I blame them for not gambling in that passing lane when the ball is right in front of their face. You know, I don't get mad if they miss a layup or dunk, or if they get plucked, but I will get mad if they sitting there getting killed on the boards and they refuse to box out so somebody else can go get it. It's a team game. But I ain't gonna lie, they had me hot, and I had to tell my group, like, look here, man, like, there's no way I can play as well as I played. Like, I damn near didn't miss a shot. I didn't really have no turnovers. I scored a lot of points. I had a lot of assists, blocks, steals, all that stuff, and it wasn't enough to win. So I had those guys check themselves, and hey, man, the result has been amazing. Now we're able to kind of lock in and get better every single time out we try to play. And that's what I'm pushing for. Again, if the association is for you, just leave it in the comments. But it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's been lethal. I'll catch everybody in the next video. I'm out.